So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I make a steady income using covered calls and dividends on stocks and ETFs that I already own. Alright, so let's get into it. Right, so the first thing is our goal here is to be able to buy 100 shares of a stock, right? I will suggest buying stocks that have good volume, right? So don't go out there and buy stocks that have that nobody knows about, and the volume that has very low volume, right? So how you can check how good the volume of stock is, and volume is basically how many shares are traded every day, right? So you need to not just look for the volume of how many shares of stock is traded, you should also look for the volume, how many shares or how many contracts of calls or puts are traded. And this is how you can check how good the volume is of a particular stock. So for example, for Bank of America, these are all the number of contracts that are active, open. So that's the volume, and it's a pretty good volume for Bank of America, so that's a good candidate. Now, once you have bought 100 shares of a stock that has good volume in both the stock trading and the options contract trading, next step would be to buy a covered call against it. So, with Bank of America, we are getting 3% dividend. Our now goal is to be able to make 7% per year from selling covered calls, right? So what we will do is, so just another quick thing that you can, again, I'll lead you into a direction and you can go ahead and explore on your own. Options have expiration dates. So unlike stocks, options expire on a certain day. So if you buy an option for $10, it is going to expire and become worthless on the date, which is the expiration date. When that expiration date passes, that $10 worth of option is now worth zero, right? So you should know that. Now this plays in the opposite direction when you write or sell that option, right? So if you are the buyer option, your price premium is going to go from $10, the amount that you bought it for, to zero. If the opposite is the case, where you're selling that option to somebody, now you are getting paid $10, and as the time passes, the person who bought it, his premium is going to zero. So you are making money every day as the time passes. This is called theta decay. You can go ahead and Google that or get more knowledge on that. So now what you will do is you will go ahead and look for an option that is the strike price that is 5 to 10% over the current trading price of that security, of that stock. For example, Bank of America is currently trading at $23.70. So I would go up to, let's say, 25 or $25.50. And if we see here that $25.50 for November 20th, we are getting, let's say, 26 to be on the safe side, because right now the volatility is really high. Let's say 26. We're getting $26. So if we not buy, if we sell a covered call, now we are selling, we are the seller, somebody else is going to buy it, so we make $26. So again, just a quick disclaimer here, right now the volatility is really high, so options prices are really high. So this will not be the case all the time that you're going to get such a good premium. That $26 is called the premium, right? So you're getting $26 for selling that option against your stocks, 100 stocks, right? Every contract is equivalent to 100 shares of that stock, right? So If you do this every month, let's say we're not going to get $26 every month. Let's say, let's be very, very safe. Let's say you get 15, only 15, $15 every day for selling a call option to somebody else against our 100 shares of stocks. Let's say the strike price of which is 5 to 10% over the currently trading stock price, right? And we do this every month in the monthly cycle expiration. There are two kinds of expirations. There's monthly regular expirations and the weekly non-regular expiration. We are never going to touch the non-regular weekly expiration. We are only going to touch the monthly expiration. The monthly expirations are the third Friday of every month. So for example, 20th November is the third Friday in the month of November. Every month, third Friday. All right. So we do that. Now let's make some calculations. If we get $15 against our Bank of America 100 shares every month, 15 times 12 is $180. So we get $180 plus we are going to receive 3% dividend. So let's make some more calculations. 3% of, let's take a ballpark figure, 2400 is $72. So we get $72 from here, and we got $180 from our covered calls, writing our covered calls every month. That is $252 of profit on our Bank of America 100 stocks every month. So that's more than 10%, and that's a good thing. We should have more than 10% because we are going to pay taxes on the covered calls, the selling of covered calls. Dividends, you can roll them in. So there you go, folks. That's how you do it. So let's get into my thoughts on this strategy, and then I'll talk about the disadvantages, the things that you should keep in mind. All right, so let's get back. So the disadvantages is that, let's say on the day of expiration, let's say 20th November, from an example for Bank of America, our stock is trading over the strike price. Our strike price was $26, right? Let's say it was trading $26.70, right? It went up really, really fast. And so now what will happen is your stocks will be sold. The brokerage will sell your stocks in the open market to be able to, not to the in the open market, to actually the person who bought the covered call from you, right? You are the seller. The person who bought the covered call from you, that person is going to receive, you will be assigned, and they will receive those 100 shares of stocks. Now what's the problem? You made the profit, you made $300. The issue is taxes, right? Now if you were holding that stock, Bank of America stock, at less than a year, then you might be paying up to 30, 35, 40% of tax on it, depending on where you live, depending on your local and state taxes. Federal taxes will remain the same wherever you live. So that's one disadvantage. Maybe you really want to keep the stock, right? You really want to say, you know what, I really want to keep this stock long term. Maybe I bought it at a really good price and I don't want to let it go. In that case, your worst case will be that maybe 2 to 3 days before the expiration, if you think, let's say on 17th November, maybe the stock is going to keep going up and I might get assigned on it, you can close the covered call in the open market. You can close your position, right? You might take a loss on it, that's there, but your loss will be compensated from the increase in the value of your stock, right? So basically a covered call will limit your upward. So if suddenly one day Bank of America shoots up to $30, we will not get that advantage of after the $26. We use this strategy on stocks that don't move too much, right? I use this strategy on very conservative stocks. I'll use this strategy on AT&T and Verizon, these utility companies. I'll use them on financials, Bank of America, or I'll use them ETF, right? So for example, in my retirement account, I have 100 shares of SPY, which is the SPDR ETF for which tracks the S&P 500. So every month I take 10% of the above the stock price that currently trading, and I will sell a covered call against it. So that's something that you can do to mitigate that disadvantage. Other than that, I really don't see any other disadvantage of using this strategy. How I perceive this, my thoughts on this strategy is that I use it on the stocks that I want to keep forever, right? It's like renting out my stocks to somebody else, my asset to somebody else. It's just like a rental income for me. My dividend payments and my covered calls together make a rental payment against the stocks or the asset that I already hold. All right, folks, I hope you got some good information from this video. If you did, hit a like button and give me a like. I'll keep making information videos on things that I know, and I'll love to connect with you guys on here or on Twitter. I also have my Twitter link in the description. Please go ahead and follow me and subscribe to me here, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.